Okay, guys. Um, Welcome to this impromptu live stream. Um, I'm going to actually title it impromptu. Okay, I should have really done this before I went live, but so I do apologize for anyone watching this. But I wanted to make this live stream because I'm a bit frustrated and I didn't want to rant as such, so I'm going to attempt not to rant. But I wanted to make this video right now because at this moment I'm quite agitated about this. Like the title hopefully says, this is an impromptu live stream about an eBay returns debacle. It's nothing new. This happens a lot. This has happened and has been documented, and other people have made YouTube videos about this as well. But I just wanted to put my story out there as well. It's nothing major. It's not like, when I think about it, it's not the end of the world or anything like that. But it's just very, very, very frustrating. So what I want to do is talk to you about my returns debacle with eBay. Okay. Ugh. As some of you may know, I sold this amp recently. This is a Yarland valve amp, and I sold this a couple of weeks ago now. I can't remember how long ago exactly, but it was a couple of weeks ago, and it sold relatively quickly. There was a lot of interest in it, and so I wasn't surprised to see it go pretty quickly. I sold it for like 200 or 220 odd pounds, something along those lines. The buyer received the item. I didn't hear anything at all from the buyer at that stage until about 2 weeks later. So, 2 weeks with no contact from the buyer. Suddenly, I have a returns request open, and not as a change of mind, but as an item being faulty, like a faulty item case opened against me. So no contact for 2 weeks whatsoever. And so this guy's apparently had a faulty item for up to 2 weeks. He may have only opened it a week ago, a day ago, whatever, it doesn't matter. But he bought an item for over £200, he or she, I guess, and they didn't even bother to check that what they had purchased for £200 was functional, I guess, or it took them 2 weeks to figure out what they bought for over £200 wasn't functional. And so they opened a case, just left like a message. Their reason for the return, or the description of the fault was they couldn't get any sound from it, and they couldn't get any sound, and they took it to a local repair shop and they couldn't get any sound, which I don't necessarily believe, because it just doesn't sound like the kind of thing you would do. If you buy something, you expect it to be dealt with, and especially when you're spending some decent money on it, you're going to let the seller know immediately that you've received an item that you're not satisfied with. So that's kind of run-of-the-mill stuff. Obviously, I have to accept the return, the faulty return, which means I have to then pay out for the return shipping label, which was £10. So I'm £10 down on top of everything else to receive the amp back. Now, thankfully, I received the amp back in one piece, which is good, and that's one thing I can be grateful for, I suppose, is that it wasn't returned to me in pieces. It was returned to me like in good working order, just like I'd sent it out. I tested it and it was working absolutely fine, and I was really happy that it was working. And I did call eBay at this point just to see if there was anything I could do in regards to this. Is there anything I'm missing out on in terms of protecting myself? Is there anything I can do to stop this happening? Is there any way around this? And there simply isn't. If a customer buys something and they say that it's faulty, eBay will just take their side on it. And I thought, okay, it's not really fair, because I'm telling you that I've received the hi-fi back and it's working, or the amp back and it's working, and you're telling me yes, but the buyer didn't have that experience. You know, the buyer for whatever reason wasn't able to get it to work, and they will always side with the buyer on that. So you know, you take that on the chin, you take the £10 hit, and you release the item. Now, the reason why I'm upset is because on top of that, now the buyer has now left me a negative feedback, saying that I said that the amp was working and it wasn't, and they had to return it. So literally, just for the inconvenience, I'm guessing, of returning a faulty item, they've left me a negative feedback. Now you can almost accept that as a reason, because you know a customer is well within his or her rights if they have a bad experience, and different customers will describe different things as bad experiences. Some customers will be more than happy, will say they've had a good customer experience if they receive a faulty item, but you deal with it swiftly. Like, you know, you don't quibble, you return, you send them out the prepaid return envelope, it gets shipped back, and you refund them immediately. Some customers have left me positive feedback for that very reason. You know, that there was an issue with the product and I dealt with it quickly, and so they leave me positive feedback because they had a good experience. Now, for another customer, that may well just not be enough, and they may just look at it and be like, no, that's actually not good enough. I bought an item expecting it to work, it didn't work, bad experience, and that's it. And that's the stance eBay take. So even though the facts are not correct, I mean, I've got this feedback saying that I said the amp was working and it wasn't. That's not true. I said the amp was working and it is working. It always has been working. But the guy is entitled to reflect his buying experience with a negative feedback. And that's something that's very hard to come to terms with, because you do everything you can to protect your to protect yourself and to protect your your account. You know, you do what you can to give good service, and when it comes down to it, you realize that you're completely in the hands of your buyers, whether they want to be reasonable about things or not. In my humble opinion, I don't think this is the most reasonable way to deal with something. I could be wrong, but it's been frustrating. I've spoken to eBay. They've told me there's nothing they can do. It was customer experience, and I have to just accept it. So losing the £10 return postage, not the biggest deal in the world, because I can add it onto the cost of reselling it. But then to take the negative as well after that, bit of a salt in the wound situation that I will just have to tolerate. I just wanted to put that out there, just to share with you guys that how frustrating it can sometimes be with eBay, how difficult it can be to just accept these decisions, but finally that's what you have to do. You have to accept it and move on, and that's what I'm going to aim to do. But I just thought I'd just come on and quickly do this little video, because I just wanted to get it off my chest. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you found it useful in any way, if you've had a situation that's similar, please leave it in the comment section down below. I appreciate it. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.